مجددا ونبدأ بأولى جلسات هذا اليوم، وهي عن دور القطاع الحكومي في قيادة التغيير. رئيس الجلسة الأستاذ نواف الصحاف، المدير التنفيذي لبرنامج بادر لحاضنات التقنية مدينة الملك عبد العزيز للعلوم والتقنية. We'll start the first session for today, which is on the role of government in driving change, and will be chaired by the moderator, Mr. Nawaf Al-Sahaf, CACST Badr Program Director.
The session is about the role of government in driving change, with two presentations, one from His Highness Prince Dr. Turki Al Saud and the other from Ms. Dorothy Hopner. After both speakers have spoken, we will then ask for questions from the audience. Our first speaker is His Highness Dr. Turki Al Saud, who is the Vice President of Research Institute at CACST and the Chairman of number of national board and committees, including Chairman of Board of Director of Taqniyya Company, which is a joint stock company owned by Saudi Arabian government that will help the diversification of Saudi economy based on knowledge-based industries. Dr. Turki, he received his PhD from Stanford University, where a full profile of Prince Turki is in the conference magazine in the conference pack USP. Please welcome Dr. Turki, whose presentation is titled The Role of King Abdulaziz City for Science and Technology in Driving Innovation and Entrepreneurship.
I will talk briefly on the CAC's role in driving innovation and entrepreneurship in the kingdom, following Professor Thies. So I think many of his ideas will probably see in some of them here. The kingdom has a national plan for science, technology, and innovation. The plan looks at various stages. It was approved by, of course, the Council of Ministers. And by the way, regionally, it's maybe, I don't know if it could be the only country that has a policy that was approved by the Council of Ministers. So this was approved in 2002. And then it took several years to get the funding for it. So it's not just a policy, but also a funding associated with it for over 20 years or so on 5-year plans. But the first one is an extended plan that took about 7 years, and that is to establish the infrastructure, the national infrastructure for science, technology, and innovation. The second phase will be we aspire to be the leading country in science, technology, innovation in the region. And the third phase to be one of the leaders at the Asia level. And of course, the fourth phase is to join the advanced economies. So on the first phase, that has been just finished, there are, I think, great impact measures that we can look at. So one of the measures, these are research related, is looking at the quality of research. The kingdom has moved in the quality of research to be the leader already in the region. So the country now, based on Nature Index, and Nature, everybody knows, is the premier science journal. Saudi Arabia is the 35th, and it's ahead of both Iran and Turkey as far as the quality of research, and of course all the rest of the Arab countries. And this is, by the way, weighted average, so fractional measure. So only if there is a joint publication with other institutions, it takes only the Saudi part. And the other measure is the quantitative measure, although it is again related to ISI publication, which is a high quality. And you can see after the funding of the plan started 2007, and we can see the publication 2 years later has skyrocketed and on an exponential fashion. And in numbers, but these are high quality numbers, in ISI publication, the kingdom past Egypt, which is more than 3 times the population. So now we are moving to Ma'rifah 2, the second phase of the plan. And in this plan, I will describe just generally what we are looking at. We have several programs, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Program A is about R&D, and we have 2 segments, basic research and funding for key topics. Program C, we have, the basic research is program A, program B is the applied or topic related, and program C is the research tools. It's the infrastructure, core facilities, the networks, and some major projects that combine them. And program D, which is related to this event, is innovation and transfer tools, such as technology innovation centers placed by CACS in the universities, incubators such as Badr and also the other incubators in the kingdom, support intellectual property, funding of innovative companies through, for example, programs similar to the US SBIR that we have now a program that we've done a study for and we are planning to implement similar to SBIR. It's called STTR, which is a version of SBIR but combines the work between companies and universities, and all other innovation tools that are proposed by various agencies. And we have a program for human resources, and then things also related to culture, the effect on the society has to be looked at in order to promote entrepreneurship and innovation in the society. So all of this is interrelated and is CACS organized this, but it is done in collaboration with universities, with government agencies, in joint committees and an integrated fashion. So let's talk about the technology contribution to national economy. The kingdom has been blessed to have a natural resource, oil, although it's declining the prices now, but we hope that's temporary. But certainly the kingdom has been conscious of the effect, on the economy to be dependent on one national resource, and we have in the national plans, not just for CACS, but for science technology, but the whole national plans for the kingdom keep talking about moving toward the knowledge-based economy and diversification and so forth. So here we talk about technology contribution to the national economy, and taking US as an example. Although the high-tech sector is really not a very large portion, but it has a multiplier effect. So it has more than 4 times multiplication, for example, compared to manufacturing. Although manufacturing is very important as well. And it creates faster jobs, and of course the wages are much higher. So the impact on technology companies to the economy is very important, and should not be measured by the number of employments, but the effect on GDP, the effect on the economy itself, which really affect other employment and things and so forth, in the service sector. There's an argument, and we have it in the kingdom here, people think, well, we want to just have area where we have many jobs. It is true, and the service sector has many more jobs, but you need the high tech in order to have those. And this relationship is very important, and we should keep in mind. That's why we think the kingdom should go forward in technology company establishment. And if we look at the innovation ecosystem, as was mentioned earlier by Professor Thies, he has in the place of innovation there, he has the firms, but the ecosystem around it is what we think we need to develop, and they involve, we have the environment, you have the education, which includes the research part, and you have to do the incubation, commercialization, and you have to have the laws for venture capital, for example, laws that allow easy startup for companies and continuation. And of course, you need financing. You need venture capital, for example, to push this forward. And if we look at Saudi Arabia, we see that Saudi Arabia innovation ecosystem is looking at this is a study, the world ranking, and we see Saudi Arabia is moving, but we need to do a lot. So 2013, Saudi Arabia is number 42, but we need to do a lot in this area. We are still lacking in this index, and I think the kingdom is just starting to move forward. There is a lag between R&D, you saw the numbers, and the innovation and the products and development companies. So there is a lag, but we need to improve, and we see we have a problem that we need to address. Now, CACS has created an institute for innovation and industrial development, and the function of institute is to help really push this forward. So it looks at its activity spans all the TRL levels, which is the technology readiness levels, and we have various entities in the kingdom that is supported by the plan. So we have, say, the universities are from TRL 1 until 3 or 4, and then we have what's called TICs. These are the Technology Innovation Centers that CACS places at the universities based on competition. I'm going to talk a little bit about them. They are, say, from TRL 1 to 4 to 5, and then of course the CACS institutes, which span maybe also from TRL 1 up to 7 or so. And then there is a support to the industry that the Institute does through its National Center for Industrial Development, and that helps the industry promote and improve their IP and products. And of course we have BADR, which also support companies to move from, say, TRL above 5 forward to commercialization. One of the functions that the Institute does is to also support intellectual property for the inventors. It's been doing this currently at CACS, but the plan is to move it forward to the universities. In fact, we have a very strong program we've done with IBM. IBM has the highest IP registration in the world. Almost a few years ago, I think, 2013, they had 5,000 patents. So they are the largest in the world. And so we asked them to create a program here and train our people. More than 40 workshops actually been done. And we have a process, we have even the software that they use is being implemented here. So the idea really is intensively, in fact, you have people, patent experts, sit with the researchers on a regular basis in order to, to get these ideas registered and things early. So you don't leave it just to the researcher until they finish the research to do it. So you can actually squeeze a lot of patents through the research, not after it's finished, to be ahead of everyone. So this is what IBM does. And we are implementing this. We need to improve it further, and we will actually spread it throughout Saudi Arabia. And of course, it does many other consultations and help, including registration and management for IP and so forth. So this is the function of this, one of the functions of the Institute. The TICs, these are Technology Innovation Centers. The funding can go to 100 million or so over 5 years, talking about riyals, and this is done through competitive bidding. And so far, there are 5 centers being established at various universities, at KFUPM, at KAUST, King Fahd, King Saud University, and Al-Qura. And we will be expanding these in the future. And then there is the National Center for Industrial Development. Part of the institute is to work with the industry to improve, for example, the quality of their products, certification of their products. Many, for example, manufacturing firms, small manufacturing firms need certification, need a process of quality control. And we have a program called Tamkeen, which is enablement, is to work with the industry to be able to improve their products. And then we have, of course, the topic today, incubators, accelerators, and technology parks. Badr helped to run these activities. I will talk a little bit about Badr program, and you will probably see more on this in the future. But the idea is to help the incubators, not just at CACS, but help the incubators community in the kingdom, and raising the quality so that we have certification. We're working on certification. We have an incubation policy that's been approved and done throughout the kingdom, and which